Hello, welcome to another video by LSX Engines, Tuning, and Marine. This is part 5 in my series on how to update your Thunderbolt ignition system with the Delco EST distributor. And what I'm about to show you is how I initially got the engine timing before I adjusted with before I got the final timing. So the first thing I did was I disconnected my carburetor, I disconnected the fuel pump so it wouldn't get pumped fuel up to the carburetor. I also disconnected the enrichment solenoid on the back here. And then I prepped the set timing system. So like I was saying before, I've got the shift kill system disconnected. I've got my red jumper and my white black. Remember in the previous video I said never disconnect this red from that wire there. So when I want to set timing, I'll plug this in there. On the back, I've got my set timing loop enabled, or a loop set up right here. So I've got that plugged up. And so what's going on here is I have a jumper from the solenoid, and when I take this wire here and touch it to there, it will bump this engine over without me having to actually be at the key. So I've also got this electric meter or digital voltmeter set up, and I'll ignore that for now. I'll explain what the purpose of that is later. I'm not measuring voltage with it. I'll give you a clue on that. But so like I said, I had this all set up, and what I did was I shone a timing light down through this. Let me see, so you can show you where it's supposed to be. So right down that gap, right in there. It's very hard to see it. Right there, if it'll focus right there. If you see that notch, right in there, there's a notch right there. That is top dead center. The timing on this new Delco system is 1 degree before top dead center. The air cleaner, the old air cleaner on the engine shows the timing at 10 degrees before top dead center. If you set it to 10 degrees, you'll blow this motor up. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to have to take a Sharpie and mark through that 10 degrees and write 1. But anyway, that's another issue. So as I was saying, if you shine a timing light down in that hole for initial setting, my light quit working on me. Okay, so there, so down in there is where you're gonna be shining your light, right down there. So for the initial setting, all you want to get is that white line on the harmonic balancer, the timing mark, to be inside that area right there. It doesn't have to be right on the money, as long as you get it in that general area. And what I'm doing is I'm cranking over manually. Not running the engine, I'm just cranking over and looking at the timing without the motor running. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going to bump the engine over, just show you how it works. Well, there we go. See, I bumped the engine over just by touching this right here. It's not starting because I don't have the carburetor hooked up, or the fuel line hooked up, or the fuel pump hooked up, and I don't have the enrichment solenoid energized back there. At this moment, I also don't have the ignition turned on either, so that's why it's not starting. But when I do that, if I were actually doing this, I would have the ignition turned on, so I would get at least a spark. You have to have the ignition turned on to get a spark, and so that your timing line will work. So that's all I want to say about setting ignition timing. I'll let you know I've already done it, and I've already got the timing set. So I'm going to hook everything up and get this motor running and show you what the timing mark should look like when it's finally done. Oh, by the way, if you don't have the mark in this general vicinity down here, if you can't see the mark, what you have to do is you have to loosen this bolt right here on the distributor, the distributor clamp. Loosen that to the point where you can rotate this distributor. Rotate it. If the mark is down there, if the mark is to the right, past the notch, it means the timing is late, and you'll have to rotate this distributor counterclockwise. And the rotation is this direction. The rotation of the distributor inside is clockwise. So to advance the timing, you'll rotate the cap counterclockwise, and vice versa. If the mark down here is too far to the left, meaning the timing is way advanced, then you'll rotate the distributor cap clockwise this way, and that'll make the timing later. So that's how you get the initial timing set up. I wish I could demonstrate it, but can't do that and do camera work at the same time. Plus this engine's already been timed. I've already timed the engine. I've got the bolt locked down. Everything's timed in, so I'll get it started and show you what the timing light mark should look like when it's all done. one more thing on the set timing. Once you turn the ignition on, you will hear a loud, shrill beeping sound. And what that is your oil pressure alarm switch is going off. And since I find that pretty annoying, I reach back here and there's a tan wire. This is it right here. Tan with blue stripe, and it's on this oil pressure switch back here. And so what I don't see if I can see it down in there. Yeah, it's right there where my finger's at. But I pull it off, I disconnect it when I'm working on this motor so I don't hear that beeping sound all the time. Just remember to put it back on when you're done. Alright, the engine's now running, and I'll show you what the timing looks like. Remember, I've already set the timing, so I'm going to show you what it looks like when under normal operation. So, as I shine the distributor down there, you can see the mark. It's approximately 1 inch past the top dead center mark, and I'll explain that in part 6. This is what the set timing connector not made up. So what I'm about to do now is make up the set timing connector, and you'll see that mark moves back to almost to the top dead center mark. So here's what I'm going to do. Make this connection right here. Note the engine slow down. That's normal when you lose timing. Now we'll look at timing again. That mark is just a tad left of the top dead center mark. This is 1 degree before top dead center. That's why I want this engine timed. It's a 4.3 V6. The initial timing setting with the set timing connector made is 1 degree after top dead center. Excuse me, 1 degree before top dead center. That's where I've got it set. It's right on the money. Get you a good picture there. So this, once you set the timing, all you do is disconnect the set timing system. It'll return the the module will take over and time this engine. So this engine now set to what it needs to be for a Delco EST distributor, not for the Thunderbolt. If you set it for 10 degrees like the Thunderbolt, you'll blow the engine up. I can't stress that enough. You will destroy this engine if you set it for 10 degrees. I'll make sure the owner knows that, and I'm going to write it on top of the air cleaner. But this time, I'm going to disconnect the set timing connector and return it to normal operation. As I was saying, I don't know if you can see that or tell it very well, but the engine's now, I've got the set timing connector disconnected, and that mark is now moved about 1 inch past the top dead center mark. And I explain why I keep saying 1 inch. There's a reason I say 1 inch. It's approximately 1 inch. And all this has to do with part 6. That's all I want to show in part 5. Again, if this timing mark, if the set timing connector is made, and the timing mark is not 1 degree before top dead center, you loosen that bolt right there. Rotate the cylinder so you get this notch at 1 degree after top dead, 1 degree before top dead center, and then lock the distributor down. After you lock the distributor down, you want to check it again just to make sure it didn't move. Once it's all set it down, put everything back to normal, and you're ready to go. All right, this engine is now put back in operating order. The shift kill switch system is hooked up here. I put the air cleaner back on, and I'm going to disconnect the set timing loop right here. There. So the set timing loop has been disconnected. If you do not do this, your shift kill switch will not work. You cannot leave these wires connected, and you must disconnect these wires for the shift kill system to work. All right, so, and then I also put the air cleaner back on and put a tag on it to tell people that the ignition has been upgraded to Delco EST. The timing at 600 RPM is now 1 degree before top dead center. And I scratched through the 10 degrees right there. Again, if you set this timing at 10 degrees with the Delco system, the initial timing, you will blow the motor up. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 6.